Nothing like a nice, crisp drink of coffee. Nothing quite like data. Predicting GME's price action with Elliot Waves. That means you guys gotta look at Professor Meatball, look at his cute little tie, and shout out where you are on that like counter. We're trying to get up to 1200. Hey, my name is Andrew. We're gonna watch this video all the way to the end to explain where GameStop's price action is going with one of our favorite technical indicators, Elliot Waves, one of our favorite technical analysis patterns that we are going to then deep dive. Make sure that you understand with help of user possibly 6. Let's give this a vote, a quick upvote, so make sure that we make a trip down to his DD after this video is over. And I also want to thank people who have pressed that join button, such as Home Slice 213 for joining the Mo Monkey Army. It's a good way to support the show, and we're gonna go off and explain Elliot Waves 429. What's poppin'? User possibly 6 here with some bias that I can confirm, will confirm your bias confirmed. As always, this is not financial advice. These views are expressed solely to the approach of investing in the specific equity. Ape am here. To preface, for new apes, he's a daily technical trader. They make a living by identifying patterns, executing trades based solely on what they see on their charts. As someone who day swings trades every day, they never day trade GME. They have been holding since late November. All right, so that's an important thing to pay attention to. What if recognizing confirmation bias just feeds our confirmation bias of our assumptions that we are unbiased? Fair enough. Apologies again for the lack of daily posts. They feel like the work is oftentimes drowned out by fluff and memes. Not really an issue, just not super motivating if you catch my drift. In the last post, they talked about how it seems like our price action mimicked that of January. If you want to check out that post, here it is. And finally, they wake up and see their favorite stock going up in value. There has been a lot of great work by apes around the sub in recognizing that GME was selling shares to apes while simultaneously keeping the price at max pain points. And if you guys haven't seen those videos about max pain, right, we have some pretty snazzy 60-second explanations on the channel. And if you guys haven't yet subscribed, that's a good reason to do so. All right, the great equalizer. Enough, now that the bankruptcy is completely ruled out, why haven't the shorts covered, right? Originally, they wanted to go out to Congress and say, hey, the reason why we are shorting this stock to oblivion is because we think bankruptcy is just a natural conclusion to the way that GME runs its company, AMC2, blah, blah, blah. No, we have plenty of money now. GME has not only wiped out its debt, but also raised another $551 million to transition to e-commerce. Bankruptcy is off the table. So now that the stock can't go to zero based on all of the things we talked about before, putting a brand new C-suite, Ryan Cohen becoming the chair of the board of directors, what do these guys have to do? Why haven't shorts covered? Well, it's because they dumb, lol. These guys don't want to admit defeat by a bunch of crayon-eating apes, and I don't blame them. Enough of the memes, let's talk price action. Here's their view of GME over the past few days. A couple of things you'll notice is that a lot of these lines are to track trends, right? We are looking at the ability for the price action here, these red and green candles, to be trended by these trend lines here. Usually the trend lines that you see on my charts are levels of resistance and support, right? Here he is tracking trends and also tracking rising resistances and levels of ascending and descending resistance and support. If you come on the show before, you know that resistances are the price points where people who trade the stock have to make a decision of whether or not the stock is worth more or less. And here we are paying attention to these trends that he is building for a 1-hour view ending on today. If you follow them for regular EW updates, they ended up retrying the waves we are in. The movement on Monday looks to be the start of wave 3, but it's not quite finished. They have tried to explain EW, Elliot Wave Theory, in their previous posts. Hurts their head too much, so trying to describe it, but they will try to put it in simple terms. So if you guys are ready, simple ape terms, here's Elliot Wave Theory in a nutshell. It's no more than the manifestation of human nature in financial markets. Oh, that's perfect. That's exactly right. It's just humans being humans. It's a natural tendency to see a wave upward, an impulse wave, or a wave downward, a corrective wave. These two types of waves plus periods of consolidation make up almost all of the price action that we see for any stock. Market moves in waves, 5 impulse waves and 3 corrective waves with waves inside of waves. These are subwaves. We've guys talked about it before when we try and predict where a price is going to go depending on the subwaves that we have seen in the past. Elliot Wave Theory, here it is. Right, within these larger macro waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's an impulse wave here. You can also see the inner makings of smaller impulse waves here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? At the same time, you see this main corrective wave here, A, B, C. That is a macro corrective wave composed of multiple ABC corrective waves here. For example, for between 3 and 4, there's a corrective wave here, bringing it down from its impulse here from 5. So each time we see a rise and then let's say it falls, but then does not fall all the way to the starting point. That is the middle of an impulse wave, but is composed of 1 impulse wave and 1 corrective wave. The way they see it, we are here, right? Somewhere along the path to the very top. So somewhere between the second and the third points on an impulse wave. There's a bigger view of what they see for GME. Let's see if we can track that. We have a rip from January, right? This is the gamma squeeze in January. We have a rip in March, which is the gamma squeeze in March. And now we are, if we are on the path of Elliott wave, right between 2 and 3 here, we're looking at the end of our price action to indicate where we're supposed to go. In some of their previous posts, they mentioned that wave 3 of 5 target is somewhere between 220 before a slight correction, and the downward move at open today was entirely predictable, and 165 was the buy area where they're watching today to buy more of their favorite stock. Let's explain why. Refer back to the EW diagram above, specifically waves 1 and 2. The wave rules apply on all time frames. After a downturn period, when there is significant move upwards, this often marks wave 1 of 5. Wave 2 of 5 targets at least a 50% correction from wave 1, though oftentimes 61.8% level. So that's what we're talking about here, right? Is that when this wave rises, its correction is going to be 50% down on top of its impulse here, right? We need to have a period of downward consolidation before we can continue to rip. You can also visualize those levels below using this line. It's getting a little harder to be able to read these here. 156 is a purple line, 165 is a yellow line, 171 here. If you guys have questions about setting up these technical indicators, including the Fibonacci, we will have plenty to talk about in our live streams, which you should be checking out on a day-to-day basis. Compare this to the diagram above. The price action is totally logical. Wave 3 targets a 1.618 extension of wave 1 with GME that is visualized below, which gives us our wave 3 of 5 parts before some retracement action. Once again, very similar charts, but just putting it all together. Will we see this target hit tomorrow? Possibly 6. As always, I don't give too much thought. What I think will happen is we will see price hit a low of around 172 tomorrow, and that's tomorrow from today, right? Because tomorrow we do have quintuple digits of calls expiring already in the money, but then we have another quintuple digits worth of calls that would be expiring if we hit $200. So that price point is something that we're looking carefully at. Anticipate this because, as you see, we trended downwards after the news that GME finished their sale of 3.5 million shares. Thus, the upward trajectory from today after the morning dip was a smaller wave 1 completing. Naturally, 50 to 61.8% correction is expected before wave 3. So that dip that we saw earlier today, this is a part of that Elliott wave where we need to have retracement before a continuation of that impulse. Whatever happens, they're jacked. Before they sign off, ignoring Elliott waves, we just broke out of the mega wedge, and they're sure that you have seen across the sub. MACD on the daily just crossed as well, which is a huge bullish signal. If you guys want to know exactly what that is, we do talk about all of these signals back on the live stream, as well as the technical analyses that we do conduct at the end of each of those live streams. MACD crossover, not the subject of this video, but that was why I've so bullishly bought some more GME earlier today. Everyone that says, oh, technicals don't apply to GME, it's so manipulated, is ignorant in their eyes. Elliot Wave Theory is not typical technical analysis. It's human nature, which is why it's so accurate. And that's why I am able to make these predictions if you guys come on those live streams. Because I don't have insider trading, I don't have like a crystal ball. I just know human nature and the technical indicators a little bit better than the average smooth-brained ape. Too long didn't read. Lots of pictures and colorful lines. GME go up, expecting a low of around 172 tomorrow before a slight reversal around the 217 area. Possibly, but highly unlikely we fall back to 165 before $217. Don't day trade GME, and don't take any of this as financial advice, as we talked about in the beginning of this video. Thank you guys for watching this quick piece about Elliot Wave Theory. We're going to go right back to the live stream here, but make sure that you have already given yourself an opportunity to support the show that you love, right? Clicking that Patreon link down below, or just easily staying on the YouTube platform and pressing that join button, or just coming on the show, asking me a question, dropping a super chat, all helps out the show. Get two free stocks from Webull with the link down below, and $250 of free Bitcoin from BlockFi on the link down below as well. We'll see you guys in the money.